Hello everyone, my name is Takuro Mizobi, and I am the CEO of Pocket Pair Incorporated, the creators of the hit game Palworld. Millions and millions of players have bought this game and have played it for countless hours, creating everlasting bonds with their pals. However, we have run into a little bit of controversy. Yes, I am a big fan and proponent of AI art. However, I personally didn't even make most of the pals. That would be my lead designer. So if you have any issues with the designs, you have to take it up with them. And because I'm so confident that we did not do anything wrong, I'm gonna allow for you to take a peek behind the curtain and see how we design pals over here at Pocket Pair. While we do take inspiration from Pokemon, we do take a lot of inspiration from other Japanese RPGs. I mean, the execs have given us essentially a bunch of different magazines to look through. This is a bad example. That's a bad example.
Are you working on any designs right now you can show us?
Yeah, I'm working on a design right now. Check it out. I call it Pikachu because it's pink. And he has a Glock, by the way. Oh god. They released a statement? When? Oh my god, oh my god, oh no, oh no, oh no. Jeez, cut the camera off, cut the camera off!
Palworld is the new Japanese action-adventure survival game developed by Pocket Pair. But to those who have only seen the trailers and the news articles, the simplest way to describe it is Pokemon, but with guns. Which, to be honest, is a bit of an oversimplification. Yes, you have the Pokeballs, Pal Spheres, to capture Pokemon, pals, and then you use these pals to beat up other pals. However, that's really where the Pokemon similarities end, because this game is definitely more similar to a game like Ark than Pokemon, when it comes to the countless hours you'll spend not battling your pals. Let me explain. Palworld is a full-on open world, and it looks a little bit like Breath of the Wild, but we'll talk about that later. And all over the world, there will be these creatures called pals, which can be fought or captured. Then you can use these caught pals to fight, or you can use them to survive. Because in this game, you have to eat to live, and in order to eat consistently, you need a home base. And this home base is where you will put all your other pals to work. It's low-key kind of like slavery. All they do is wake up, work, and sleep. But trust me, that's not even the most controversial part about this game, which we'll talk about later. The pals can log, mine, farm, and build a full-on factory. That's all for the end goal of helping you look drippy. Dang, look at that drip, dang! And eventually you can go from a bow, to a crossbow, to a musket, then finally a gun. As you level up, you'll unlock new ways to put your pals to work. And you'll also unlock new weapons and equipment to help you kill and capture other pals. You can also find eggs throughout the world and then incubate them to unlock rarer pals, and eventually you can even breed your pals. Oh god, there has to be something ethically wrong about this. Your base can get raided, and these pals will do everything in their power to protect the base. Then immediately go back to work like nothing happened. Truly the capitalist experience. And each pal will have a cool ability that is exclusive to them. Some come by default, and others need to be crafted, like saddles on more horse-like pals. Trust me, you're gonna want to put a saddle on one of these, because you can even fly around on big flying pals.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. There are no more peanuts left on this flight.
And of course, some pals just have guns for some reason. Tansy has an AK-47, Fox Sparks can be used like a flamethrower, Liftmonk has a submachine gun, Pangolin can be put in a bazooka and can blow up people. There's a lot more, but yeah, it really is Pokemon with guns. When you're not breaking labor laws, you're playing the actual game, where you explore the world, find new areas, and new pals. There's desert areas with desert versions of the pals. There's snowy areas with snowy versions of the pals. There's a hot area that's too hot. Too hot. This map is huge. And although I carved through a large chunk of it on my map, it's still not fully explored. And that excites me to continue exploring. Throughout the map, there will be these big icons showing you boss battles. Some will take place out in the open, and others will take place in more of a raid type beat, with some of the most important raids having full-on cutscenes. And you can catch almost all of these bosses, and it's usually worth it as they come with special quirks. You can't catch the ones with cutscenes though. It's not possible. Trust me, I've tried. There's also humans that are either just friendly NPCs who will chat with you and give you free stuff and sell you stuff, and there's also enemy humans who will shoot you and your pals because they're bad dudes. Like the Free Pal Alliance? Wait, am I the bad guy? What's really wild is that you can even capture humans. Yes. And then you can just make them work for you, like actual slavery? Oh my god, what the fuck? However, if you hurt or attempt to capture innocent people and are caught, the police will pop up out of nowhere and will try and kill you. And if you fight back, you'll get more cops, like you got more stars in GTA. Except there's no way out except death. You can't even fast travel. There's seriously no escape. So when you do die from the police, or scary big pals, or bosses, or falling off a cliff, you'll spawn back in either your home base or somewhere else if you don't have a bed for some reason. And then you can find your dead body and all of its stuff, and it's like you're back to being new. So there's really no consequence to death except for the walk of shame where you're butt-ass naked on the way to your stuff. Look at you. Slut. So that's Palworld in a nutshell. You capture pals, fight, and survive. But you know me, I'm gonna be honest with you about this game, so let's talk about the... This game is really simple. Once you get the hang of the whole base system, it's really straightforward. You just need materials to make cooler things and get that blicky, baby. Brah, brah. The type chart is also simple as well. There's not a ton of weaknesses and resistances to worry about. It's not a whole huge chart like Game Freak's. The designs of some pals, while very derivative, are pretty cool. My personal favorites have been Incineram, Pangolin, and my bird that I flew around the entire world, Vanworm. I love them. Generally, the designs are at least pretty funny. Like, yeah, this is just Grookey from Pokemon, but hey, he's got an AK, so he's a little different, okay? It's so dumb that it's amazing. The actual movement and gunplay is surprisingly not that bad. Yeah, it ain't a full-on movement shooter, and it's not like that great, but it gets the job done and makes your character feel like an actual character, and not just a dude on the sidelines watching his pals do all the work. The pals are really just supplemental tools to help your character win a fight. You can also play co-op, which is fun if you have friends who are down to put up with your goofiness.
Yeah, please, yeah, you're on fire. Yeah, what are you doing?
What the hell just happened, bro? Although playing alone doesn't feel too bad at all. I'm never alone as long as I have my pals. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's a lot of controversy surrounding this game. First of all, the creator apparently has a history of using AI in their video games before, so there was a legitimate fear that AI was used to create the designs of these pals. But so far, no evidence has been found actually corroborating this accusation of AI being used. I will say that the actual designs of some of the pals are very derivative of Pokemon, with glaring similarities, especially in the models. Mind you, this is not me defending Pokemon. They're a multi-billion-dollar company, and they can deal with this on their own. And since recording, Nintendo has even made a statement about Palworld, and if I'm being honest, if Nintendo had an actual case here, this game would have been shut down 3 years ago, when it was announced. So I really don't think it will lead to anything, but if it does, I'll wait for that to happen. But besides the controversies, there are other cons to this game on the gameplay side. While the base building aspect is more fleshed out, the rest of the game, there's not as much to do. While the open world is quite large with varieties of biomes and a wide variety of pals to capture, the main gameplay is rather linear. You can fight bigger and scarier pals in raids like I mentioned before, which can be a fun challenge, but most of them will be in the same sort of room, kind of a really boring aesthetic. You just hide behind a pillar and win. Otherwise, outside of the bosses, the world is rather empty, with few towns and few NPCs with anything of note to add. I know this game is in beta or whatever, but I do hope there's just more interesting missions and characters so that the world feels lived in and isn't just an empty shell of a world. Even when you're fighting the villain factions, a lot of the time it's the same thing. You kill them, you free a pal. That's it. On top of that, the game is a glitchy mess a lot of the time. It's never truly game-breaking, and at times it's more funny than anything, but dealing with it so regularly is frustrating. And the NPCs are pretty stupid. You could just stand in the right angle and they won't shoot you, they just stand there. Menacingly! Which can be really game-breaking when you're dealing with a really high-level pal, like a Mamorist. I'm not supposed to fight this guy yet, but I kinda cheesed it. Also, the pals can't evolve. I have no idea why not, especially when so many of them look like they have an evolution, but it turns out they are two separate lines of pals. It's genuinely disappointing, and I hope it's something that will happen in the future, but maybe that's where it starts to become a legal nightmare. I could totally see evolution being like the straw that breaks the camel's back legally. It also takes so long to get a gun in this game. Level 26 is when I can finally build an actual gun, so for being known as Pokemon with guns, I actually wanted wanted more guns. It was not enough guns. Even with all these issues though, the game is really addicting. My first time playing it on stream, I streamed for so long that I forgot to eat and had a headache that whole night. It was worth it. For $30, Palworld is the right amount of goofy gameplay and survival mechanics that I genuinely had a fun time playing with. And with more time and updates, it could be a fully fledged out game that could withstand the test of time and not just be this short-lived thing. I mean, there are way too many people buying it. It broke Steam records. So there's clearly some sauce in here, you know what I mean? But as it stands, I'll be giving Palworld a 7.5 out of 10. But what do you think? Have you played Palworld? And if so, who's your favorite pal? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay guys, I gotta go to court, so I'll catch you later. Ya noob!